We are living in a time where women are making more, out earning their partners, investing for the long term, and building true wealth. It is a wonderful time to be a woman making money. But with the lack of financial education growing up, it is up to us to bridge the knowledge gap. When it comes to budgeting and money management, certain activities are guaranteed to set you up for long term success. In this episode, I'm sharing 6 money moves you can start implementing now to get the ball rolling on your financial success. The time to build the life you want, build the life of your dreams is right now. Hey there, I'm Raya Reeves, and over a decade ago, I turned my life around through budgeting. I went from being an overspender deep in credit card debt to being the founder and full-time money coach of City Girl Savings. Now, I help women work towards their dream life and tap into their financial power one budget at a time. I fully believe you can live a life you love with a budget, and I'm living proof. The weekly City Girl Savings podcast focuses on the intersection of money and the City Girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. Before I get into the money moves you can start implementing right now, I want to share an interesting fact with you. Did you know that in 2020, almost 60% of women in the United States were solely responsible for making investment decisions, and around 40% out-earn their husbands? This is according to a survey by State Street Global Advisors, an investment management company. So guess what that means for us ladies? Financial success is 100% in our own hands. And I truly believe there are certain must-do money moves that women, anyone, need to implement for financial success. And literally, there's no better time than right now to get them done. So let's get into the money moves you can start implementing now. First one, save for retirement. Think about this for a second. Full-service nursing homes in Austin, Texas charge $10,000 a month. Senior living apartments charge $5,000 a month, with utilities and food included. And then regular apartments run upwards of $2,000 a month, with nothing included. So if you don't own a home or don't plan on owning a home in retirement, you still need to pay for a place to live. If you do own your home, but you purchased it later in life, which is very common, you'll still be responsible for the mortgage. If your mortgage is paid off, you'll always be responsible for property taxes. So if you're retired, how do you plan to pay for it all? Relying on Social Security is a poor plan. Relying on your kids or your family to take care of you is a poor plan. Do your future self a favor and start saving for retirement now. The cost of living is on the rise, and that means we'll just need more than we think saved in preparation for retirement. Now, the good thing about saving for retirement is the earlier you start saving, the more you will have when the time comes to retire. But that doesn't mean that you can't start right now, regardless of where you are in age, right? If you want to know my top money move, this right here is it. Saving for retirement as early as you possibly can. So we can't change the past. So that means starting now and moving forward. Contributing to a 401k plan and IRA is a total game changer, and your future self will be very thankful. The next money move you can start implementing right now is to start investing. So let me just say that if you are contributing to a retirement plan already, you are already an investor. So way to go, give yourself a pat on the back. However, if your budget is in check, your debt is minimal, you have an emergency fund, additional investing on your own is one of the best must-do money moves a person can implement. Historically, the average rate of return from investing in the stock market is 8 to 10%. You will never, ever see those types of returns on a general savings account. Now, at the time I'm recording this episode, interest rates on high yield savings accounts are 5%. But still, you can literally double that by investing in the stock market. So stock market returns average 8 to 10%. No high yield savings account is going to match that, at least not as of yet. Now, because investing requires you to lock cash away for long periods of time, it is very important that you do have a few things in place before you actually start investing. I definitely recommend paying down your high interest debt and building a liquid emergency fund before you put too much extra income to investing. However, once those things are accomplished, you'll want to dive into investing to build wealth faster. I want to spend a little bit of time here because I do get a lot of questions on, should I pay off debt or should I invest? Should I invest or should I save? And here's the thing. If you have high interest debt, so that's usually credit cards, personal loans, sometimes it can be car loans. High interest debt is very expensive. So right now, average credit card interest rates are like 25%. Now, remember when I said that historically the stock market will have an average rate of return of 8 to 10%? That means if you decide to invest in the stock market, but you have high interest credit card debt, you are losing money. So yeah, you may be investing and getting yourself a 10% return, but by not paying those credit cards off, you're paying 25% interest. So if we use those to cancel each other out, that means you're paying 15% more just by keeping that high interest debt. So that's why I say paying down the high interest debt should be like the first priority, because you're not going to make as much investing as you would save yourself by paying off your high interest debt. Now, I also want to talk about saving before investing. So the thing about investing is it is a long-term play. So if you put money in the stock market, your plan should be to keep it there for a long term so you can see those 8 to 10% historical average rates of return. If for whatever reason you don't have any liquid funds, so you don't have money in a savings account, you don't have money in a checking account, all your money is going to investments and something comes up and you need to get that money out, you basically have to sell your investments to liquidate your portfolio and get that cash, right? At that point, you may be taking a loss. You may be taking a gain, but not as big of a gain as you could if you left it there, right? So having an emergency fund or having some funds saved before you start investing will help you keep your money in the stock market longer. Now, I definitely want you to check out episode number 107 with Mark of Better Wallet so you can learn how to add investing to your money goals. I'll make sure to link to it in the show notes. The next money move you can start implementing now is, if you don't know, learn. So this isn't exactly a money move, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? Like your next step is, if you don't know something, go learn it. Because the excuse of, well, my parents didn't teach me how to budget will only take you so far. The excuse of, well, I didn't learn how to manage my money in school will only take you so far. In fact, any excuse around not learning how to budget or control your spending or manage your money will only take you so far. Okay? You didn't learn. Okay. Most of us didn't learn. Okay. What are we going to do about it? A major money move for financial success is being proactive about learning what it takes to be financially successful. So you can do this a variety of ways. Work with a money coach like me in City Girl Savings. Take a college class, take a community college class, sign up for an online course, read personal finance books, listen to personal finance podcasts, consume personal finance blog articles. My point is that there are so many resources out there that can really help you bridge that knowledge gap. You just have to take the responsibility for learning. And this is a really important one to keep in mind because nobody's going to make you do it. No one's going to force you to do it. No one is going to push you to learn. Like that is something that you have to do for yourself. That's a step that you have to take for yourself. But I promise you, it'll be worth it. Are you loving this episode so far? Well, the money and life level up conversations never end in the City Girl Savings community. Visit citygirlsavings.com for instant access to resources that help you budget, level up your money mindset, and so much more. And make sure you stay up to date with CGS by following us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at City Girl Savings. All right, next money move to start implementing right now: work with a life coach, a finance coach, or a therapist, or, all three. Work with them in conjunction. If you know me, then you know my money journey started from a place of materialism. I was living in LA and I was trying my hardest to keep up with the Joneses. I may have looked the part, but my bank account was always close to empty. Sometimes it literally got empty. That's because there is so much more to money than just knowing what to do with it, right? Our emotions, our experiences, our past memories all play a role. And if you want to be financially successful, you have to go back to the experiences that shaped your current thoughts and actions with money. That's a biggie. So let me repeat that. If you want to be financially successful, you have to go back to the experiences that shaped your thoughts and actions with money. So this could be your parents always telling you no when you were a child. And then when you started making money on your own, you always tell yourself yes, right? You got to go back to see, oh, I was deprived as a child, or I felt deprived as a child, and now I'm compensating for that. So you have to be able to go back to those past experiences and memories and figure out why you are the way you are with money. And working with a life coach, a money coach, or a therapist can really help you bring those experiences to light. Those professionals know what questions to ask to help you realize what you went through in the past that shaped who you are today with your money and your decisions, right? You can learn so much about your current money behaviors by looking at your past. And oftentimes, we don't know how to do that on our own. We don't know how to ask those questions for ourselves, right? So that's why working with some sort of coach or therapist can really help you get the answers you need to start making the changes you want to see. Now, I will admit that this particular money move is probably terrifying to you, right? Like, it's hard and scary to look at the past, especially if we know it wasn't a good one, or we know like we didn't learn the right things, but it's so impactful. Knowing more about our own behaviors and what drives our thoughts and actions means that we can actually change from the inside. And that is an absolute recipe for success. Before I move on, I want to just add that I have created a money mindset worksheet. It's a worksheet that asks you questions to help you kind of think about why you are the way you are with money. So I will link to it in the show notes, or you can go to citygirlsavings.com/mindset and grab your free copy. So free. Next money move you can start implementing right now is get your head in the game. When it comes to succeeding with your money, you have to want it. You have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to discipline yourself. You have to learn to say no to things that do not help you get ahead, no matter how fun or exciting they may be. Because if you don't have your head in the game, you'll always be wasting your own time and money. Okay. And we don't have time to waste, right? I mean, we got moves to make. We got places to be. So get your head in the game, make the decision to turn your financial situation around, commit to doing what it takes to reach the things you want to reach, right? When you make that decision, when you say, okay, I'm going to get my head in the game, make sure you're ready for it, right? Like, make sure you can commit to doing the work and sacrificing and being disciplined and saying no and owning that you're on a budget. It is only temporary. I say this all the time to my clients. Like, it's a temporary season. So it doesn't have to last forever, but it's a necessary step to get you to the next level. So get your head in the game, understand that it's temporary so you can get where you want to go faster. And once you get there, you can decide to change things around a bit. Final money move you can start implementing now is to start having money conversations with your friends, with your family, with your boss, with your partner. Like, start talking about money. Money is still considered a taboo topic to talk about in our society. And while our country is definitely getting better about promoting money conversations, I feel like we still have a long way to go. But that doesn't mean that you can't get the ball rolling on your own, right? That doesn't mean that you can't start having conversations right now. So one of my favorite moves for financial success is actually talking about money. And maybe I'm biased because I talk about money every single week on this podcast. And I've been talking about money for as long as I can remember since City Girl Savings started, even before then. But it really makes a difference. Don't be afraid to be transparent. Don't be afraid to up your comfort level with your friends, your family, your boss, your partner when it comes to talking about money. Like, we have to be okay with having these conversations. And I'm not saying you have to share everything, right? But if your friend is wondering why you're always saying no to happy hour, express that you're on a budget and you have these goals that really matter to you. You will get so much more support than you think or than you expect by just being open. So if you're on a budget, if you're working towards financial freedom, if you have some money goals that you're working on, share it with your friends, your family, your partner. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you are looking to grow in your career and make more money, please let your boss know. He or she may not be able to make it happen right away, but if you are a good worker, it will be in the back of their mind and they will advocate for you. So have that conversation, express that, please. Do not be afraid to share where your head is when it comes to your finances. Also, don't be afraid to be the sounding board for others as well. You never know what you could learn just by listening to someone else talk about their money situation. Not to mention, some people need that too, right? So just like you should start having money conversations with people, allow people to have money conversations with you. So here's the thing about money. If you don't control it, it will control you. As more money makes its way into women's hands, we must take charge. We must control what our money does, especially if we're working towards bigger, lifelong goals. So I will say this, financial success is on the horizon for us all. We just have to move in the right direction. And the money moves that I shared with you today can help you do that. So here's to living a life we love, being happy, building wealth, and enjoying ourselves along the way. Thank you so much for letting me be the money coach in your ear today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the City Girl Savings Podcast and you feel empowered and motivated to take the next step in the journey to your dream life. Remember, if someone like me, a millennial who loves to travel, new experiences, and iced coffees can live a life they love on a budget, you can too.